Good morning, children. Welcome to the social session. Children, we were learning about the Indian Constitution in our online class, and we have seen the preamble of the Indian Constitution. We have seen the background of making of Indian Constitution, as well as the first page or the foreword of the Constitution is considered as a preamble, and how this preamble is written. Okay, what were the words and values on which this preamble or the philosophy of the Constitution is based upon, we tried to understand in the previous class. So let us move on to further understand about these values. Let me quickly recapitulate what are the values which were present in the preamble in yesterday's class. We have seen that Indian Constitution is a republic. Okay, republic means, what do you mean by republic, children? If the head of the country is elected by its people only, then such country is called as republic. And I made it very clear that even though Britain is a democratic country, but it is not a republican country, because there the head is queen and who is hereditarily appointed but not elected by the people. But whereas in India, the president is the head of the country and president is elected by the people. Of course, he is elected indirectly, but he is elected by the people. And the other important things like the Indian Constitution is sovereign. We take all decisions on our own. We doesn't depend upon anybody for taking the decisions relating to the internal matter or to the external matter. And India is also secular. Indian Constitution is secular. The government will not appoint, will not show any kind of favoritism towards a particular religion. And there is no policy of, there is no religion policy of the state which makes Indian Constitution as a secular. It treats all the religions equally. And freedom of religion is also guaranteed in the country. Freedom of the religion in the sense anybody can follow any kind of a religion. So it makes Indian Constitution a secular. And apart from that, we also have seen about another important value like socialistic, where the government strives to reduce the gap between haves and have-nots. The wealth of the country will be equally distributed among the people of the country. And the last one was the democracy, which says that the government will be run by the elected representatives of the people, and for which everybody has the weapon called as a vote. And one vote, one value is a political equality through which the democracy of the country function. So these are some of the values which we have discussed in the previous class, children, like republic, sovereign, socialistic, secular, and democratic. Apart from that, there are other values like equality. Okay, we have this important feature in the Indian Constitution: equality, justice, okay, liberty, and freedom. Liberty and fraternity. Liberty itself is freedom. So equality in what? Justice in what? Liberty and fraternity mean what? So in today's class, we shall try to understand about these four values, that is liberty, equality, fraternity, and justice, and how these contribute for the achieving of these ideals. That means, in order to make India a socialistic, secular, and sovereign, these ideals are required to be implemented. So how these all play a very important role together in order to achieve the Indian goals, let us see. So justice in the sense all citizens are should get what is due for them. So in determining what is due for them, there should not be any discrimination followed. Generally discrimination means अलग देख लेना. Okay, हमारे वाला है तो अलग देखना, अगर बाहर वाला है तो अलग देख लेना. So without showing favoritism. Okay, so this kind of discrimination should not be there in giving what is due for them. This discrimination should not be on the place of birth. It should not be on a particular caste or particular tribe or particular religion, and there should not be any discrimination on the beliefs, generally the religious beliefs we have. So wealth, even on the basis of the wealth also, if the rich people are there, showing partiality to them; if poor people are there, okay, looking at them down. So these kind of things should not be present in a country, and everybody should be treated with justice. And however, they may take special steps in order to protect them, and those who are historically wronged or those who are historically discriminated, in order to bring them up or uplift their standard of living, you can give them special privileges. And coming to the equality, our constitution does not promise equality in all aspects, like income and property, because rich people and poor people still survive in the country. Okay, rich are becoming richer and poor is becoming poorer. So our constitution doesn't promise the economic equality, but whereas political equality is there. The political equality is nothing but giving them, all people irrespective of the gender, caste and economic status, giving them the right to vote is a political equality. And however, it seeks that all people will enjoy the same status in the country, and that is everyone will be governed by the same laws. That is the equality, rule of law will be there, whether you are the prime minister of the country or whether you are the ordinary man, the peasant of the country, but you will be treated with the same law. And secondly, it promises the equality of opportunity. This means all public opportunities, offices shall be open to all of them irrespective of the caste and religion, and no partiality will be given to a particular religion. If an office requires a special qualification, then access to that qualification too will be made equal to all the people in the country, but no kind of discrimination will be followed. So that's the equality what I am talking about. Justice, providing them the due aspect, equality, giving them equal status and equal opportunity to everybody. Liberty is nothing but the freedom. So there will be no unreasonable restrictions on the citizens in the movement, in the way they think, in the religion they follow, they wish to follow, in the expression of the thought and opinions. There will be no kind of restrictions imposed on them to do all these things. So the way they wish to follow up their thoughts in action or come together to form associations and parties to gather, to assemble, these all things they have the freedom, that is called as liberty. So without liberty, okay, democracy cannot function. Without equality, democracy cannot function. If you want these all values to be addressed properly or to be achieved, then you should give to all its citizens liberty, equality, fraternity and justice. And coming to the last one is fraternity. Fraternity is nothing but the brotherlyhood. So to build a sense of bonding and unity among the people of diverse kinds in the country, the one should treat the fellow citizens as the brothers, but not as an inferior or as a what we call lower stranger. So in order to eliminate this one, the feeling of fraternity was also inculcated, so that in spite of the diverse cultures and diverse background, we all get united with the feeling of Indian. So besides this, the preamble of the constitution also, our constitution has a section called as the directive principles of state policy, where it directs, this lays down a specific task for the government, before the government of India, how the government should make the policies relating to the achievement of these values envisaged in the preamble. There are universalizing literacy and education. Education should be universalized. In order to do this one only, right to education, okay, has been implemented. Vidya Hakku Chattam has been implemented, and protection of environment, reducing the income inequalities. There are large inequalities. Ambani's income and our income, there are large inequalities. So the wealth of the country should be distributed equally. Of course, government is trying to reduce them. That's the reason why they are providing the ration at a subsidized price. They are providing reservation system. These all are nothing but the aim to achieve, to reduce the economic inequalities. There are also the principles which should guide on the government, which we cannot file cases in court if we feel that government are not following them. These are the things which the government should follow, and if the government cannot follow, we cannot move to any court of law. To ensure that these ideals are become real for all the people in the country, the constitution has a chapter guaranteeing the fundamental rights to all the citizens, and you will study about these fundamental rights. What are the fundamental rights? What are our rights? We shall study in class 9th under the chapter called as human rights and fundamental rights. And you can also approach the court of law if the government doesn't guarantee you the fundamental rights also. You can move to the court. Whereas in the case of directive principles of state policy, we cannot move to a court of law, but whereas in the case of fundamental rights, we can move to a court of law. If anybody denies you the rights, the following of the rights, or if your rights are violated, you can move to a court of law. The system of government we shall see in the next class, children. Until then, take care. Thank you.